Rhinos are in trouble. They need our help. This is not some sort of crazy conservationist mission. The rhinos, our rhinos, are going to be gone.
While Kruger National Park's borne the brunt of the carnage, KZN's a third worst affected province. Already 46 rhinos have been killed this year, 12 more than for the whole of last year. The poachers aren't playing around. They mean business.
Roughly in 2 years' time, our rhino population growth rate will match the declining numbers in terms of poaching. And when those two lines intersect each other, then we are going to experience an overall negative growth rate in rhino, and that is when we are starting to lose this game properly.
That was Lawrence Munro, an Ezemvelo KZN wildlife section ranger at Shishluwi Mfolozi Park. He knows the dangers of poachers all too well, having lost a field ranger in a gun battle late last year, and also having seen the hacked and lifeless bodies of many rhinos.
In terms of the bigger picture, it's not just rhino that die. In fact, our game reserves and the justification for our wild areas is at stake here in the long term. People are dying. There's a vast amount of money to the South African economy that is being lost. This is an important aspect that is going to need buy-in from all sectors of society if we are going to combat it. We cannot leave it to a handful of rangers working extended hours under trying conditions to try and contain the problem. The problem is way bigger than that, and we do need help from basically every single person in this province.
One solution that was working very well for the 8 or so months it was piloted for was one involving daily helicopter patrols and operations in the southern section of the park. It was funded by King Shark Aviation out of sheer passion for the cause. Lawrence Munro worked closely with the chopper pilot deployed there.
And it proved to be extremely effective. The statistics show that when the helicopter arrived, the rhino poaching in this area died down and moved elsewhere.
Yvette Taylor from the Lawrence Anthony Earth Organisation explains why they back the initiative and will work with any other organisation towards this goal.
I really feel that this is a very successful project and it should be rolled out the country over. Lawrence Anthony always said there's no silver bullet for the rhino issue, but this is one of those things that really puts a weapon in the arsenal that works and that's effective.
Jabulani Ngubani, Rhino Security Coordinator for KZN Wildlife in the province, says high-tech equipment has to be used in this deadly fight. Night vision goggles, cyber trackers and choppers, he says, are key.
What helps us with the helicopter is that it gives us that competitive edge from the syndicate. It keeps us 2 steps ahead of the syndicate. We can be efficient and effective and produce a result within the expected time.
So how well did the project work? According to Jabulani, in Shishluwi Mfolozi Park in 2010, 17 rhinos were lost. In 2011, 7. And up until the end of the project, they'd only lost 2. And everyone thought corporate sponsors would clamour to climb on board such a successful project. It didn't happen, and since the 30th of April, the chopper's been grounded. Since then, Yvette says the situation has become even more bleak.
The escalation is ridiculous, and more so in KZN. You know, we were almost in a bit of a safe zone, and everyone was looking at Kruger, and Kruger was just getting hammered. We've now become a target, and it's very evident that these guys are losing against the poachers.
And does she think the absence of the chopper made all the difference?
No, it's definitely linked, because we started losing rhino almost immediately after the chopper was recalled. So the link is very clear, and when you backtrack it to when the chopper was there, and you see how low the figures were, and it was maintained for such a long time, it's very evident that the chopper made a very big difference.
Justin Lowe, pilot at King Shark Aviation and project manager for the anti-poaching chopper project, says after they left the park, there was a 1-month breather, and then the poaching started up again in earnest.
The figures for July were 9 losses, August was 3 losses, and so far this month we've already incurred losses. So it's multiplied in a way that we haven't seen before in this fight against poaching.
We've already lost 46 rhinos in KZN this year and around 400 countrywide. So could our children's children not know rhinos in the wild if things continue as they are? Here's Ezemvelo's Lawrence Munro again.
Yes, unfortunately it is conceivable. If we turned a blind eye and we decided that we're not going to take up this challenge and embrace all the horrible aspects about it and be prepared to get our hands dirty, then yes, that's a very real possibility.
And the late Lawrence Anthony sums it up perfectly in this file interview from February.
I just want to remind people of the values that are important to us as human beings. It's important that we respect creatures like rhinoceros. As South Africans, this is our heritage, and we really have to get together on this one. This is the one we get together, we say no more.
Diane McPherson, East Coast Radio.